artists have this habit of lip syncing on stage.
Why is it
And
acceptable?
how is that acceptable?
The general bit of it is that they can't sing for a long time, but I don't think that they've kind of trained themselves up to that level where they're able to do it. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go down to the pub, have a few mixed grill, have a glassy, couple of fags, come on, let's start singing.
What's up, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indy and Doctor podcast. Different settings, different place with a very special guest. We are joined today by Ricky Bundle, the man himself.
How you guys doing? You all right?
Get that, first of all,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the kind invitation. Really
On a
appreciate
Sunday
it.
morning, we appreciate this.
On
You
a
can be
Sunday
at
morning,
home,
hanging.
eating here.
Yeah.
How hungover are we?
Pretty bad.
Yeah, how bad? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say about 7. 7
Seven out of 10 for like
Yeah.
10 being I can't walk.
No, but the thing is, even as you're married and you got kids, you still got to do jobs regardless, isn't it?
You become functional. What?
So I'm functional hangover.
Oh, so you're a functional 10. So
Functional 10.
you can be a functional 10, which means you're still functioning, but you're struggling.
Yeah.
So you're 7 to that.
That's right.
I get
See,
it. I understand the metrics now.
That's why you guys are professionals.
I understand the measurement.
You understand these things.
He's a doctor, he understands it.
I'll keep looking at him. I feel like taking my kataf and saying, doctor, I've got this problem, that problem.
You know, I love how your first name is Makatala.
Yeah.
You're the guy in Goodness Gracious Me, innit?
Wow. No, Bhangraman, they're probably the closest to it, but that's about it, yeah.
Ricky, you've got a mad history in Bhangra, right? And me and Doctor have a lot of lack of understanding built there in the Bhangra world that we just want to understand from you, because we see the music that comes out front. We don't see what happens behind it. Yeah. And we want to understand from you, because you know so many people. You've had major people on your pod. Yeah. You've had Jazzy B, H. Dummy, all those guys that have come on. You clearly know people. Yeah. So we don't understand any of this with how it all works in the background. So we're trying to understand from your perspective, help us see the ins and outs that we just don't get to see. So from like the production of a song, from all those little bits and bobs, all the politics.
Yeah. We appreciate, Ricky, that when we did Bhangra, what people see on the stage is what that, but there's so much beef behind the scene, between teams, stage time, all this. So there must be behind the scenes stuff in Nightingale. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of luck in one way. So I was born in Handsworth, and at the time when you're looking at kind of the 80s, I would say, that was the nurturing time. So the guys who were there before laid the foundation, the AS Kong, Pajungi group, all these guys, they did the hard work, but there was no money in it at that point. So when we're thinking about it now, we measure metrics and industries and politics by how much money's being made now, which I'll get to. Yeah. But in the 80s, as people were building up their live scene, people were getting married. And some of the key gateway people were like video people, believe it or not. So wedding films started to get filmed. Yeah. Weddings started to get filmed. And so when people used to go there, they say, oh, we need a caterer, we need this, we need that. So these guys set up kind of preferred suppliers. So Aparapajan was one guy who I've had on the podcast. Like my dad, a lot of the football teams, think about it, you've got 20 men going to be getting married. Yeah. If you get one wedding within there, all of a sudden you're going to get 28, Straight up. You're the guy. Then if you've got, if he was connected to Apara Sigith are going to get 20 bookings.
Entertainment, there we go.
So then if you go to London, it'll be similar. So that whole live scene really thrived on it. And, they talk about quite a lot of unity. I think people were obviously more gentlemen there. There weren't that many distractions, so to speak, like food, going out here, recording, all these different places. So everyone knew everyone. There was a more collective.
Would you say there was a lot of respect at the time?
Yeah, I think there was healthy competition, from my understanding. And
but there were rules.
There was kind of unwritten rules. You don't do this, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't jack my booking.
Well, you don't jack your booking, or you don't go on stage asking where the women are at and doing all these things, which happens right now, right?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, you've got artists who go on stage going, where's all the fit bitches at? Where's this, that? And you're like,
don't chat shit.
It's disgusting.
Listen, when we do a live pod, make sure you say fella.
Yeah. What am I saying?
No, the reason I'm saying that, Rick, is...
Why is it me?
Indy's number one fear, not specifically. He's like, if we do a live show, I think I'm going to say something in the first 5 minutes. I'm going to get cancelled. This is his number one fear.
That's my number one fear.
Yeah, but the point of cancellation is that if you've got a substance to kind of back up your point, you got to respect your point. You can disagree with somebody. Well, that's your point, isn't it?
Exactly. That's your opinion.
You know what I mean? like I could be saying this now. I'm not massively qualified. I'm only giving you my experience and just being by luck. So when you got the 80s scene, it goes on and the music starts coming through. We get first, second generational kind of musicians coming through within here now. And then Birmingham and Soho Road was just a complete capital or hub of all creativity.
You've heard it here first, guys. Birmingham, not London.
Not London.
Birmingham.
Hey, what are you sending me for, man? I'm Birmingham.
Birmingham. It's more specifically within Handsworth.
Okay.
So like I've said it quite a lot on my podcast, but going to school, I had John Miles' house top of my roads.
Right.
A.S. Gong literally round the corner from him.
Yeah.
Used to go past Suffrey's house.
Right.
Used to on the right hand side is where Diljit and Jazzy B used to live in one of the roads in Handsworth, yeah. And then Sukshinder Shinda.
Yep.
Then we had Pradesi, used to be around the corner from Bibi Nanki school, Bibi Nanki Gurdwara, and opposite Bibi Nanki Gurdwara was my primary school, which is Hookery. Opposite there used to be Gurjan Mal's recording studio. So auto blasters and everything like this used to be recorded there. So you used to see artists coming down. So we used to be playing football, and then you kick the ball out or something into the road and you're asking for people. And we will do like throw it back over. So I remember once like Shin DCS got the ball and like threw it back to us.
Wow.
That was at that stage. That was like, wow, we made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Celebrities.
So this was like, and then as you get a little bit older, going to secondary school, catch a bus. But going through Soho Road, you would see Roma Music Bank, Oriental Star Agency, DTF, all these Envy, all these record labels were all on this one road. So you were just naturally involved in it. Like if you were a fan, like some people just, it's not their interest, which is fair enough. But I was playing the door. I used to love like the
whole scene.
Yeah. And that was it. So through that, we used to play Dole myself. You get to know a few people, and then that's been kind of a good way of getting people onto the show. But a lot of people don't come on at all.
What do you mean, come on?
You can invite them, but a lot of people, they for their own reasons don't want to go on, or
but those reasons tend to be.
Go on. What, your pod or
the podcast?
The podcast. Okay,
yeah. So at the moment we're in a very strange, weird place with podcasts and the general kind of creatives arena for let's say brand people. Or South Asian community. Because like you guys doing this now, in-house production, doing as much as you can, the return on investment is going to be very little to start off with. And we're playing a gamble for long term because we want to sustain and build a legacy for the next generation, for them to come through and say, here's something that we've made, like pick it up and take it on.
Yep.
But you got some of our biggest stars who are doing, I've just recorded this piece myself, but, I'll say it on here as well, but you've had the biggest artists around the world have come to the UK over the last 18 months.
Yeah.
And they've done no interviews.
As in, so they've done their professional tours and sets.
Yeah.
But not sat down for an in-depth.
Yeah, but they haven't gone to BBC.
Okay.
So if you're not going to do an interview with BBC, what chances have smaller creatives got? And if they don't get it, then all the industry around it, people filming, these guys have taken their time out to do it, you've come down to do this, it's not worth it, and it just stops. So you kill that next generation of creativity.
So to play devil's advocate from their side, they can point the finger and say, it's my manager, it's my time schedule, I'm stretched, we've got so many things to do.
Look, man, if they've got time to do a real dancing like a Pratt, you got time to do an interview.
I think I know you're talking about.
And what's the interview for? The interview's for them. It's for them to do their advertising, what they're promoting, their tour, a book. Well, they don't do books.
Yeah.
The new album.
Doing everything else. So, exactly. So if you're
I think what I would suggest, Ricky, is with the amount of eyes that are on now, social media big, 80s artists, obviously you could do a lot of things, but you wouldn't see it. I think a lot of artists now, depending on who's interviewing them, are scared that they'll be put on the spot, ask the question, they say the wrong thing, they're liable. That clip gets 10, 20 seconds, goes viral. This is what he thinks about this.
But that's the promotion. They want something to go viral.
That's true. That's all promotion is good promotion. Yeah. But I think some of them are genuinely scared about what should we say. And if we control the narrative,
do you think who's going to cancel him? Do you think the
I
industry,
agree.
do you think, both of you, do you think the industry is big enough to get somebody cancelled? Knowing what people have got away with already, what more could they say that's going to get them cancelled?
Cancellation being flagrant opinions.
Gurdas Man, you make a good point, yeah? Gurdas Man, wherever he got, he did a sold out tour.
Exactly, just now, didn't he?
Did a sold out tour around the world. His bank balance ain't cancelled, I'll tell you that right now.
It's true. He had the flag. He laid low for a little bit. It's all cyclical, and then it comes back.
But then it comes to people don't forget things like that. Our community do hold on to things. Some people do cling on to bad shit. That's just how we are, unfortunately. So, for example, when it was the protests happening in India for the farmers, Diljit was the one who spoke up the most against Hindu nationalists.
Yeah.
I will forever have a lot of respect for him for that because I'm thinking you use your platform for us, for your people.
Yeah.
For me, regardless of whatever you do from here now, I will always give you the benefit of the doubt because you spoke up for us when you didn't need to. Yeah. As a result, he's lost everything Bollywood-based. Yeah. No one associates themselves with him anymore. Yeah. But he's gone global in his own way and he's made his own pathway and now he's breaking into mainstream music. That is a big deal. So I will support him until the cows come home. With other people who didn't speak up, I do look and think, why don't you say something? Because this is technically your homeland, your people, and you're just not helping.
But the thing is, with that, I mean, from outside, we can have that opinion, and I'm almost similar to what you're saying. The difficulties is that we don't live in their life over there.
I see that as well.
And the politics around it makes things difficult. It's not just they get affected; it's their family as well, and the infrastructure around it. So, from one side, you should do this and do that. But then at the same time, what are we doing in our own part? If you've maximised your sphere of influence, fair play to you, well done. But you can't have that same kind of opinion on somebody else without knowing their full circumstances.
And if they have more to lose.
If they're trying to put roti on their table and they're the only person that industry is working, like what you see on social media is completely different to what you see in terms of backstage, in terms of even from a monetary point of view. If you can't be doing sold out tours here and you're giving away free tickets at the same time, Diljit and these guys are the top 5% where they don't need to do that.
Yeah.
That massive layer in between. Yeah. That's where, that's the lifeblood for the industry, to our heritage and stuff. And are people going to risk something by, getting into not a needless, but poking a line when it doesn't need to be? They could just navigate around it. But then at the same time, you should be confident enough that if you're doing an interview, that you don't have to answer that question.
That's it.
And it's the relationship between...
You can still control the narrative afterwards.
Of course you can.
For example, even with this, any interview that we do with any guest, we pass them the recording and say, are you happy with it?
Yeah.
In case they want something cut. And I get it. Some people get very comfortable in the moment and they don't want to say things. And they're like, in hindsight, I don't want to keep that in. I'm like, cool.
I've had that, where I've done an interview and I've had a call the next day and said, listen, I'm not 100% about this bit. I said, listen, look, if you want that bit taken out, that's fine.
Yeah.
My opinion on it is this.
Yeah.
If you think that's... And then sometimes they'll be like, okay, we'll go with what you said. Sometimes they said, nah, there's a family situation. Yeah. Something's happened. I need to kill someone.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You got to respect that.
You don't know what it is. So, from that side, if you look at Gurdas Man as being the case study, how much work that he's done in a lot of other areas, fair play. In some areas, in my opinion, he's done it bad. But he's also, you can't just dismiss somebody just one bit because what we're going to get summarized by one action or a paragraph or a statement by somebody.
It's nuanced,
really difficult.
Yeah, it's very nuanced.
It's much more complicated than that. And I think by saying it's a yes/no answer, I think does it a disservice to both them and us.
Going from that era to then of the 90s to now,
yeah.
Do you feel like you've obviously seen the progression of being in tune of everything from then till now? You're a lot older than we are, so you have a clearer memory.
Right.
No, hang on. I'm saying this as a form of respect.
I know that the grades.
I'm saying this as a form of respect because you have the memory of seeing that from a very young age that we didn't get to see. So seeing from then till now, do you think that Punjabi music at the moment is at an all-time low in terms of output and talent?
It depends who you speak to.
Okay.
So your opinion, what was the peak of Punjabi industry?
For me, it's kind of like a favourite era as well at the same time. I would say early to mid-90s going up to
Early to mid-90s, okay.
yeah.
So
going up to
artists at that
probably
time.
early
Give me some
2000s.
artists. Like artists who were popular at
Jazzy,
that time.
Jazzy was just on another level. That time. I mean, like people forget how massive. So just round the corner from it is like Bingley. He did a Maharaja's launch party.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there was about 2,000 to 3,000 people there. They blocked. The traffic was ridiculous going all the way back up Soul Road just to get into that venue. Yeah, it was massive, massive. But also people forget how big B21 were.
Yeah.
You know, like Ballyjack. You know how, this is controversial, but as big as Diljit was, B21 were potentially on that level. They cracked
all that time then.
Yeah, they cracked. Remember no social media?
That's the thing.
India,
had they existed now,
America,
CDs,
those markets,
everything were all selling out.
what was that film? Ben like Beckham, they're on there. They did kill it.
They smashed it. Just them three. I think they released just under 25 songs, if that.
Yeah.
And look what the impact was. What they did. Wow. I think so. Yeah. If you look at
as a group.
Yeah. No, but if you think about it, you just think, oh, they've made so 25. Wow.
Look at the albums. Back on public demand. And they
only
about 24 maybe.
And if they existed now,
it's a different industry in it because now it's like the boy band look.
Yeah.
It's obviously Bali went massive on its own. Buta was making Sufri's album at the age of 16, 17.
Was he?
That's how old he was when he made it.
Wow.
So he must have been getting those tuppers, man, for not focusing at school.
No, but he was at he went to Holyhead School.
Yeah.
Was learned from there. Was in the band, joined up with like Tubbsy. Made they made Love when he was 16, but then Sufri had got them in at that time, just around about that time. I think by 19 he'd done Bomb the Thumbi and everything. Think about that at 19.
Okay. So for you, early 90s, mid 90s.
Yeah, I think it's also based on kind of what your childhood is as well, isn't it? You know, it was.
What's your preferred era?
It was fun. It was, there was just loads of things.
What emotion does that song bring in you from your childhood? Like those examples, isn't it?
Family, isn't it? Yeah. It's family. Because
family
you had a lot more weddings around that time. Your cousins are first getting married.
Yeah.
It's close relationships, and then you're experiencing, new families coming together, and the singers were at their peak. You didn't know that at the time, but
exactly. It's in retrospect.
Yeah. But even when you think of kids, when you think about something from your own childhood, it's always blue sky. It's never it was pissing down with rain, was it?
Yeah,
so your memories are always kind of biased, anyway.
Skewed a bit. Yeah.
So going back to the question, then that's your favorite era to the 90s. Now, do you feel as though it's low? Like there's not enough output? What's your feeling on things now compared to then?
What's the state? Depending on who you speak to. So I'm a more kind of cautious, kind of cynical kind of person anyways, especially as you're getting older. There's always a reason for this.
Me and you will get on very well.
Yeah, like conspiracy.
Dukhi man.
Yeah. I am. I'm miserable, negative, all these things, right? So you do get shoots of ideas and hope. That's the word.
Brilliance.
Hope. Yeah. Not brilliance.
Oh, wow. Not brilliance.
No, it's hope.
Okay.
So, but they quickly get smothered
by
just by loads of other things where who they're working with or what they're doing, and you hear other kind of parts around it.
Okay.
So only recently I was with Manny Sandhu.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
where's he been?
Oh, trust me, he's got an avalanche coming.
Okay.
Yeah. He's done subcar stuff and everything, man. Yeah, trust me, his bank balance ain't missing. I tell you that as well.
No, I'm not saying that, but I loved his music when he came out with like Dawn Connie, etc. I was like, this is amazing. But that evokes emotion in me because I heard that in uni.
Yeah.
So I have a real close affinity.
But he's also you've got to think about how many singers that he's brought through the industry as well at the same time. But I was chatting to him and he goes, the problem that people got here is the UK is so divisive. And a lot of people think UK is just the market. As you experience and you work with other artists and, with Frenzy that I know, he's got access to different markets all the other time.
Frenzy or?
I'm just using Frenzy as the example from there. And Manny in this same way, it's very similar. So if you concentrate on UK, it can be very negative.
Okay.
But let's say you got 1 million Punjabis who live in the UK. You've got 35 million Punjabis in India and Punjab.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have let's say 10 million in Canada.
Yeah.
So where's your market? What are you aiming it for? If you're still thinking UK, that's fine from an ethical, moral point of view if that's your passion. But if you're going to be earning money, you're looking in the wrong space. That should be your space of where you're going.
So do you think they're catering to that and they've changed the way they produce music for that reason?
I think so, but if we would talk just lightly from experience that I've seen where people make music, you could have a vocal recorded in India, produced in Canada.
Jazzy said this on your thing,
Jazzy, mixed mastered here.
Yeah.
You could be doing just for one song, it's gone around the world.
Yeah.
So I think the technology nowadays has made the industry better. There is a big risk now with AI in terms of what that can do. So either people embrace it or they just kind of rip off and take it to their own advantage in that. And again, the reason why I'm a little bit cautious on it is the very reason why I said when we started this conversation, which was about that next generation, that where's the next generation of musicians coming through?
Yeah.
How are they going to operate? If everything can be AI replicated, then people are not going to
have the skills.
Why am I going to pay a studio musician 150 quid or whatever it could be when I can just rip it off?
So we had a guy on recently called DJ Fresh, and we said to him, how easy is it now to manipulate samples from music? And he said, it's so simple.
And it's only 2 years in.
Yeah.
So if you give, let's say, with ChatGPT, let's say 18 months, right? Yeah. Look what's happened in that 18 months now. And
GPT is one thing. I've not seen AI be used correctly in Bhangra music. I've seen it used in broad music. So people have made random Drake samples.
I could tell you some of your biggest songs that you've heard this year have had AI in there.
Genuinely?
I won't say which one.
How much AI are we saying?
Percentage-wise.
Are we saying it AI mastered it all? Or are we saying it made the beat?
All I would say is the core part of a song had been fully AI.
The music element you're talking about, not the singing.
Wow. A bit of both.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah. Hang on. And has AI manipulated the audio to make it sound better, like a kind of auto-tune aspect?
Auto-tune to a point is AI.
It is. Hence why I'm trying to see
that's it.
How much it's
I could say nail on head.
Okay. But what we're seeing now, how is it different? Auto-tune's been around for a while and it's kind of accepted.
Yeah.
How is this different, what you're seeing now?
I think you've got where, from a lyricist point of view, I think obviously with the lack of Punjabi being spoken is having a huge effect on how kids are interpreting songs or understanding what it is. I think it's driven more about sort of the bass and non-Punjabi element within there as well.
That's true. That's an interesting point, man.
But when you play a tone and a kid hears a tone, and the Punjabi especially, there's something in the blood that just gets them going.
Get it. You're incredibly correct.
Yeah, right?
But irrespective of how much Punjabi is spoken, you're right. Like when we do Bhangra mixes, how much of the time do we actually listen to what's been said? It's just the beat, do the move.
Beat of when you're going to do your move, right?
That's it, yeah.
But like, I don't even know if it's a correct analogy, but it's kind of tribal, isn't it? It's like, that's your music.
Yes.
There's something that's there.
You're connected, yeah.
It's like, and the analogy I was using was like kind of football. So I'm a United fan. My kids are United fan. I like,
unfortunately.
Just
more lucky than Desi.
I know. It's a doctorate that it's in there. But you go to when I speak to him about football, he loves other players, he likes other teams, he knows all the...
Which is fair.
Yeah. And when you see that tribalism is not in the younger generation anymore, it's getting...
diluted.
Because now they're fans of football. They're like Haaland, they're like this, that, the other.
But it's been like that in basketball for years. Yeah. I think it's a natural progression of sport.
I think it's happening here, but the difference is with the Punjabi music is if we lose that kind of
spoken Punjabi,
that's going to have a huge effect on how people interpret. Because look at some of the songs that have come out.
Yeah,
they are so basic Punjabi. It goes down to just bulle bulle, hi. 1 or 2 words, right? And that's made the song. If there's anything like Dunga in somewhat complicated or something to think about,
When
That's
you
not
listen
there.
to lyrics by Sidhu, those are advanced lyrics compared to what we hear at the moment.
Of course they are.
And I do not speak good Punjabi at all. I have to sit there and read the lyrics, translate it to English, and understand what he's saying.
So how long are you reading those lyrics for?
As much as I can.
Let's say for 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes for the song, right? What are the kids watching now? Shorts. Their concentration is about 40 seconds.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
They'll flip out. Even on shorts, they just bang it and like next one. It's such a consumer market that, to ask the people to dedicate time to actually think about it.
Because the question then becomes, why is it relevant? If I like the song's a banger, I'm going to dance to it. Do I need to understand? Yeah. And that's a good point, man. So you think the future potentially of Punjabi music industry is actually we have less spoken Punjabi and it's just more about the beat and the way it sounds?
Yeah, at the moment. But the irony of it is when from when I was doing interviews and speaking to people, is the first thing they ask for is lyrics. Because there's beats coming out everywhere. Yeah. Right? People steal beats. People do like loads of other things. Like, I think there was every combination on the guitars ever been played.
Hey,
already,
did it.
Right?
He did it live.
So someone's going to nick something. Someone's always influenced someone. So everyone's stolen beats from
what's unique. Back. All right, so here's my question to you, Rick, then. So from the people you worked with artist-wise, everybody's got to make P, right? So you got to put food on the table. So that's one thing. When you speak to artists, are they saying, okay, I want to make, bangers that will play at weddings, like, Sherry Man, Thin Peg, that kind of stuff? Or are they saying, actually, I want to make intentional songs which have a good message, good Punjabi, and there's a real kind of, like, not political element, but there's a real reason? What are they doing?
I don't know. I even to the point don't think that they even strategize what they're doing, what they're thinking.
Really?
Because like, if you look at some artists now, they charge a singer might charge 15-20 grand to sing at a wedding.
Like I said, okay, right? Yeah.
And then because Diljit or AP have charged X amount to do an arena tour, per show, they're thinking that they can command that. Like,
you're talking about other artists, you mean?
Yeah.
So they use that as the benchmark.
Yeah. So traditionally, what used to happen was if you got an album, you take that album on tour.
That was it. Yeah.
So now you've got this whole surge of EPs and albums, but before there was kind of that. You remember that gentleman's agreement? I think Gurdas used to be. Gurdas does it 1 year, anyone else could do it the year after.
And it's what the year after?
A tour in the UK.
Oh, right.
Okay. So you rotate,
so you don't step on each other's toes.
Yeah. But the last 2 years we've seen since COVID was like, that's gone out of the room.
Everybody
but that's because everyone's trying to make money back from
exactly. So if we're talking about making money, then I don't think in terms of the strategy, in terms of what kind of songs that they want from, are important. I think they put out so much content, some singers, that you could have a deep, meaningful song in there. You could have Bhangra,
cover all the bases.
Yeah. I think people are going so eclectic now in their taste.
And let's look, Jazzy quite well. Let me use Jazzy as an example, right?
I don't know him too well, but I wish I did.
But from the interview you've done, someone like Jazzy, right? Like, staple, been there a long time. Does he have a lot of involvement with the lyrics, or is it like, you're a lyricist? Yeah. I'm going to sing. I'll sing whatever you give me. I think
not just Jazzy. I think the majority of them have.
They do.
They have.
Okay, they want control of that element.
Yeah.
Okay, in which case then, take me from start to finish of a song being made to end.
I'm the worst for this bit. I'll point that bit out. I genuinely
don't know what happens.
And just from my understanding.
I feel like it's all like disjointed, and it's like, I might start a conversation with this person.
I think you're right, because I spoke to Aman Hair, I spoke to him, and I spoke to Butta. Like, Butta would, when I did a super rare interview with him, like nobody, I think Satman did one. It was super rare. He gives interviews.
Yeah.
And he goes, I used to go to India, I used to see what the latest songs, and then he goes, I used to hear it. I thought, I could do that better. So he used to work, his thing was, and his side passion was working on covers. And then, because he's got the elements with it, and he goes, I can do it better. So that's one style of working. There's some people who would say, I've got this beat, and they'll send it to a lyricist and say, make me a song to this, compose a melody to this.
Okay.
Some other people say, we've got a lyrics, let's make a beat to it, to fit it in. And some people say, I've got a singer and I need to somehow just got to make it work. Just throw loads of elements.
Because if you think of traditional music, you have producer, singer, bus.
But do you know the producers on some of the big songs out there in the mainstream?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
But
we're run by...
We are run by producers.
Yeah,
not
and we also
singers.
have to have the lyricist's name in the song. So you'll know the lyricist's name. You probably know the producer before the singer.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So we are such a unique industry from my observation.
Do you know, for years, I used to think as a kid, like, I'm in here singing that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, ground shaker.
no, he's not.
He's
not singing that.
Yeah.
We're like, are you
But it's not him.
And they're in videos as well, so it's like...
That's the jam, man.
Yeah,
I thought that little kid was singing That's Jam.
Rico.
Yeah, Rico.
I was like, your boy, the guy.
Yeah. But there's a few of the lads in that video, you know, who we know and gone into different industries. But yeah, it was just because I think at that time there was so much there was an album coming out, you know, 2 a month or something from different labels.
Wow.
But they couldn't afford to bring the singer over. The singer wouldn't know how to look in front of a camera. Some people used to be ghost produced. Some people were, you know, ghost singers. You know what I mean? Some people don't look good on camera as well.
The first time I saw Lambert, I was like, oh, this is Lambert. I was like, he's singing it stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Why is there this resistance then from us in the Desi world to not allow Bhangra to grow into this new gen? Because if you think about hip hop, I think about 90s hip hop, 2000 hip hop. I love those eras. Hip hop today to me is fucking trash. I hate it, but I understand this is the evolution of the game. I'm thinking Bhangra's going in that direction now, where it's less about traditional beats. It's more about a hip hop trap kind of vibe. And it's actually working because it's getting more and more mainstream. But it dilutes down, as you said, the traditional aspect. Isn't that natural with what's happening with music?
I think what we're seeing now is that in the early 2000s, you remember when like Timbaland started using a lot of...
and I love him for it.
Yeah,
how he
East
used
Asian
all those,
all those samples.
Which he doesn't make anymore.
And
he's changed his vibe as well.
And I think now as well, because of the views game, the click game, and they're seeing some of these numbers, like if you're Drake, and you're seeing the numbers, what Sidhu was getting comments wise and all this, they'll be thinking, yo, hang on, there's a brand pound here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening now, where the big record labels are looking at that market and saying, yo, we
need to tap into this.
We need to get engagement like this. Whether it's bought or not, stats are stats, what people look at.
Numbers.
They'll be manipulated to whatever. But I think that's where it's coming in now, where for mainstream artists to have that kind of crossover, and they'll see the engagements going up. Because what used to happen before was you get a massive artist working with a Desi artist. And the Desi artist is the only one who's promoting it. The mainstream artists wouldn't even push it on their own channels or anything.
Right.
So when you see SIA and what Diljit's done, that's, for me, is huge because you're seeing them on their platforms pushing it as well at the same time.
Even prior to that, he did Peaches with that, what's her name? He did a remix.
God, I can't remember.
I forgot her name now.
I told you I was still a 7.
I'm going to Google it now. Yeah. But I heard that and I was like...
Man.
Coachella.
Come on, man. Like,
Look at the stages what he's taking it on. Like, you could argue, but we've never had it so good. And we're going to go into a real purple patch over the next few years of what can be achieved.
Well, this is going to be one of our questions, which is like, so you used the word hope, didn't you, earlier? Right, and I said brilliant.
It's hope that kills you, though.
Right, so mine was, if we sit here and you watch cricket?
Nah, but I got an idea.
Virat Kohli?
Yeah.
Okay, peak, go, whatever you want to call him. But we look at now from India point of view.
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie, there you go. I have to say that. I got to give the respect, man. I got to give the respect because I heard her sing it, and at the end she sang a little bit in Punjabi.
Right.
And I thought, wow, that's big.
Play. Yeah.
Very big.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I had to say
you close your cycle now.
Yeah, we're on there. We're on the cricket now.
Anne-Marie!
So we look at like cricket now and we're like, well, okay, who's the next Virat Kohli? He's not going to be around forever. So say Diljit is a pinnacle, let's say, right now. Who's getting you excited? Who's like...
I don't know. And the reason why I say that is because before you used to see an artist where they used to have a bit of a slow burn and then you can see the rise.
Yep.
And they'll stay there for a little bit. They'll plateau out there. And then they might just start, seeing the end bit.
Okay.
I think what we're seeing now is really sharp spurts.
Like AP.
Yeah, massive high. And then the decline is just as bad. So So I can't really say that. And then plus, when you look at some artists, they gone up here massive, and then they ain't got the money or anything else to kind of reflect it.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So you've got, you know, I won't mention him on this one, but I speak to him quite a lot.
Okay.
But he's worked with the biggest artists in the world.
But the recognition isn't.
He's got the recognition,
right?
But he's not getting any bookings.
It's not translated.
He's not getting any inquiries to work with it. Well, he is getting that, but they're just not being a little bit serious with him.
But it's not proportionate to the amount you work with.
It's not proportionate that if you're thinking that you are the biggest in your industry and you've worked with the number one, number two, arguably number three, you should be minted.
You should be made. You should be made money.
If that was in the mainstream and you've worked with Drake, Beyonce, and whatever,
you'd be raking.
I think it'd be fair to say you should be rich.
So why is the money? Why is the money skewed there? Why are they not getting any kickback?
I don't know. I think I genuinely don't know. I think the money is so disproportionately out there, and that's going to be the main motivation for a lot of people to go into an industry to do it.
It's available, like it's there to be taken.
The money is available, because we've got access to doing arena tours. We've got this. Yeah. The biggest challenge is convincing people to come and see you.
Yeah, bums on seats. Anything marketing is always a thing. Yeah.
Right. That's the big. We know it when you do a podcast.
Yeah.
What the engagement is and what's the true engagement, right? I'm fearful that even in this industry around podcasting, that people will naturally go to buying views, buying followers, buying all of this stuff. Because if that's your narrative to do that, I actually get it, because that's the only way you're going to get attention from that side. But you're not going to make the money. You're spending more money per episode than what you're getting back in.
The ROI.
Why do they buy the views then? Because I know you wanted to talk about this, because people say this. I mean, I'd like to throw a hat in the ring. Raf Saperra, I think he's a hope for the UK scene. I think he's great. He could do many styles. Me and Garen were playing him in the car yesterday. And I thought,
I was so impressed.
He can do a JK style. He can do a jazzy style. He can do old 90s kind of garage vibe. Yeah. And I'm thinking, you have many different hats you can put on. That is very respectful. And I saw him live and I was very impressed. So I'm thinking he, for me, is a hope. But again, as you're saying, I hope he doesn't just burn out or disappear. I want him to be sustained in the space for a while.
I think if you look at anybody who's been in the industry, whether it's main or that, you need a rival. You need
worthy adversaries,
because that's going to push you in terms of your creativity. So, from what when True School did his concert with Punjabi MC, you saw an array of new singers as well. So there's hope there. There's hope in a few other kind of emerging singers that you see coming on. So, but we need all of them to kind of push each other in terms of like competition, because Oman needed DJ Sounds, True School, but WMC needed Bali Sagu.
Yeah.
Jazzy needed all the other kind of like Indian markets that he was competing in and taking on an industry. You know what I mean? So you need those people. We need it. I think where podcasting, for example, is different is that it's a bit more kind of respectful in the mainstream, where you actually do this, collaborate, bring people on, share audiences. Because
depends on who you are.
But not everyone.
Not everyone. No. It's just my attitude. From what I've taken and what I see, the GOATs, Joe Rogan says it quite a lot. He brings it from there. So if you're going to model yourself on and Stephen Bartlett, if you're going to model yourself on the best people, then you do what the best people
and
do.
they themselves say, I'm happy to share my guests with other bigger people because they're going to have a very different interview compared to me.
But think of the
and
arrogance,
I think fair play.
Think of the arrogance, though, that you own somebody else's ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you can only watch my
exclusive.
Thing. Yeah, you're how dare you go and listen to somebody else? You can't. I don't want you to be into the same space as me.
I don't want to lose my audience to you or something like that.
We do it all the time. We do it ourselves. You might listen to your competitor, and you might be their biggest fanboy without telling them.
Yeah. But
if you're not learning from what you guys are doing here or what I'm doing, for example, then what's the point? Because if you're that precious about it, it's the wrong industry for you. Because you'll be absolutely ripped to shreds.
I agree. And I think it's good that Raf, I think his competitor is the bigger industry where they buy views. He says himself, this video that I've done online got me to like 1 million views or 2 million views. He said it's not been juiced up by other people in India with random clicks or fake views. He's this is organic. This is real. I'm very proud of this. And I think fair play. Because there are some artists that come out there, like in India, you see all the thumbnails, 300 million views, 320 plus million views. How do you know
it's that?
What, juiced?
Yeah, no, not juiced.
The comments, man, the likes, it's not proportionate.
Well, you can buy it though, can't you?
No,
exactly. Hence why it's skewed.
No, but how do you not know that? Because you take people's opinions at face value.
I don't take anyone's opinions at face value in the
so
the
because
Punjabi
somebody's
music
told you that you think it's correct.
No, I've seen if you look at some schemes like barely any comments, you can see view numbers.
But what I'm
go
saying
sky
is
high.
that let's say you do an episode with somebody else out there. You can buy your views, you can buy the comments and make it look like it's in proportionate as well.
You can.
So what I'm saying is that even if somebody has genuinely got there, you're still gonna have somebody who's gonna have a cynic.
Oh yeah,
you're still gonna have somebody. So you can't take it on that. Oh, I have to prove my worth. Raf doesn't have to prove himself to anybody. For what he's achieved and what he's doing is brilliant, right? No one can take that away from it. So like worrying about those guys, I don't think he needs to do that. I think what our bit is that we need to push an industry that helps him reach his potential.
Yeah.
And then he helps inadvertently reach their potential at the same time. But the metrics that we're looking at is, have we had a dodgy comment? Have we got this done? Because the other thing that you can't mitigate against is somebody else can buy views on your channel without you even knowing.
What?
So let's say you could get you could get a video, right? They can buy, if they really hate you, they might spend 50 quid on you, buy the views, put it on your one, flag your episodes up.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden your algorithm's messed up because it doesn't make sense.
That's dark, man. I haven't thought about that. That's very dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, how you measure success is different to each one. I don't see it in terms of views and from that side. I look at the value in terms of what they bring, in terms of like, is there something that you can learn? Can somebody from an as a person understand or learn something from what they've done? The Ramblings of a Sikh, for example.
Okay.
I challenge you not to learn something from each of his episodes. The content that he puts out is brilliant because you're always learning something that you didn't know about. And
for you, that's the value.
For me, that's what's the point of listening in it.
How have you found the brown scene? Podcast I'm talking now.
I think we're in very early stages.
Yeah.
And but I also see a lot of people running out of steam. I've slowed down, for example.
Okay.
I used to do one a week.
Okay. I'm
like probably one every 2 weeks now.
Okay.
But the idea is to kind of ramp it up again into the next bit. But I've got no end game. Like for me, I could stop 6 months time.
So the reason you do your podcast is?
For me, it's just because I want to learn. I was really curious. My frustration used to be, I used to listen to an interview and I'd have like 5 questions that I'd want them to answer and they wouldn't. And they would only have 10 minutes to answer a question. I used to get pissed off, like, oh man, they've gone now.
Which is what's annoying about doing radio interviews sometimes.
Exactly.
So it can be like so
the constraints.
So long form
content. Yeah.
For me, is that you actually see a little bit of
under the skin.
Yeah. But then the amount of stuff that said off camera is massive.
Yeah.
So
that's true as well.
And then you get into this weird matrix where you're interviewing someone and then you've got to kind of relax in terms of what you're trying to say to someone.
To allow them to breathe.
Exactly. So very rarely are you able to kind of get your opinion. And then as I'm doing it more and more, I've had people start asking more questions. So where in one interview for an hour, you might only ask 7 questions. And then you might have 20% talk time.
Yeah.
Which for me, it should be correct because they're the person.
Yeah.
But now, as you're getting more comfortable and your audience is growing, they want to hear your opinion
on things. Yes.
And so that 20% might turn to 50.
Yeah.
That you're actually having a conversation rather than an interview. So your own style evolves. And I think for where people have started out doing their podcast, I think people have realized that it's a lot tougher than what they thought it is.
Yeah.
I think they also think about there's a lot more hidden costs that people think about.
Yeah.
And access to people is very, very difficult now because people want to protect their brand.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, very defensive.
Yes.
And how they, want to promote.
How they want to be perceived.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
and that's why you might get the no media campaigns or, where people have to justify why they, their successes.
Yeah.
Where for me, it's only a personal one. I'm not threatened by anybody. I'm wicked with a large proportion of people. And even, with people who I don't agree with or get on, I could have a healthy conversation with them and I could have a sense check. Have I got it wrong? That's fine. You're allowed to change your mind.
You have the maturity. I think we live in a world now. Look at obviously the conflict in the Middle East. Everybody's polarized.
Yeah.
This is the only opinion you can have.
Yeah. You're allowed to change your mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's frowned upon.
That is frowned upon.
You could have one school of thought.
At that point in time. Yeah, exactly.
Think, I've changed my mind.
Because I've read of this or this is
I've heard another opinion. I thought,
that's fair enough.
I'll give you a live example of this.
Yeah, go on.
There was a artist who I was he was wanted to come onto the podcast and he was just blowing up my phone and I was like, look, I got bro, like I'm not gonna do you any favors by you coming on here because your episode might be, this is when I first started off.
Okay. Yeah.
I said, you have one life story.
Yep.
I don't want to disrespect your life story and you're measuring your success by views because you might get 100 views.
The reach, yeah.
I'll go, let me work out my plan and then I'll get you where at least you might have a decent audience to
better
share
chance
your story because that's the respect I value your story. And he goes, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got there, got him on, done an interview and we just talked about another guy and he was saying, oh, he's doing a relaunch, he's doing this, that, and the other. I was like, how many relaunches can somebody do? Right? And I didn't say anything. And I was in my face. I was like, what a prat. What's he doing this for? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I met my mate again.
Yep.
2 weeks later, playing football. And then I said to him, I go, what you were saying from that side, I go, why is he doing that? And he goes, they've got to try. And I realized I felt this small then because he was right. He's having a go. At least he's trying. Whereas me before being a cynic in cussing the guy was my natural instinct to do that rather than giving the benefit of the doubt that he's having a go. So when people are having a go in the brown space and at this bit, I like that. I get it. It's just the problem is that you've got so many of the hidden obstacles that makes it really difficult.
It's great to try and encourage others to keep going for it as well. Like we get DMs of people saying, I want to start X, Y, and Z. And we say, just try and see how it goes.
But we also give tangible things. We'll voice note and say, guys, this is what you need to look at. This is this. If you have any issues, message us.
I've done crossovers in with Taranum Tind.
Okay.
Who's arguably the biggest podcaster in Canada. She done Sonali, which is Diljit's manager, got an Audula in the AP documentary. And I have regular conversations with her and the struggles that she faces over there, exactly the same here. Exactly the same. And it's almost in the same industry. But then if she's facing the same, then we're on the same kind of pathway in terms of everyone's moving in the same direction, facing the same struggles. But it's really important, that you try and encourage them. But some things do get on your nerves when you see some things and you're just like, you're always battling yourself, like just keep your mouth shut, keep this, that, you know what I mean?
Keep your opinions to yourself sometimes. Sometimes it's better to say nothing. Yeah.
Because my brother goes to me, he goes, oh, you're too vanilla, you're too nice with everyone.
As a podcast interviewer.
Yeah,
but that's because he knows you.
Yeah, but the other part of it is that he also knows is that the controversy and clickbait is what gets you the views and gets you all of that.
But do you want to be that?
Yeah, but that's my whole point. Is it's like my
Your MO is not that.
Yeah, MO's not that. I want to be a safe space for somebody to come, and then I just want to ask you questions for my own curiosity.
No, that's an interesting point you're doing, Rick. Because we sit there and we'll have conversations with people, and the people looking in at the brand industry, this is how they categorize it. There are brand content creators who are going to make what I have coined will do content.
Yeah.
So look, there's no hate. Like Katappa, I use Katappa as an example.
It cracks me up. I love it.
I watch a lot of Katappa Sangadar.
I love Katappa.
Right?
Yeah.
I love him to
And I'm
bits.
like, okay, bro, you're authentic and you do your thing fully. Like he goes in.
Yeah.
I said, Indy, like you and me, that's not us, man.
Yeah,
like ours is like you longer form content.
You guys are in a hard space though, man.
What you mean?
Go on.
Because when I've seen your content,
Yeah.
I think you're almost, it's like a show, isn't it? Where you've got, because the amount of on-topic stuff that you got to bring up, you got to find what's the next issue that we got to talk about. We need to think of an angle on this. This is just my opinion. And I always find it that I feel for you lot. Not in a bad, that sounds very patronizing, but not because it's a different style.
It's a different battle to go with.
That's right. Because I couldn't do what you guys do.
We're trying to keep up with the cultural aspect.
Exactly. So
and what's happening in the brown space at the moment that we want to talk about.
So then, when you said about, the fear of being cancelled, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're just an arse hair away from, we're in the shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So whereas with me, I'm just a one-to-one interviewer because that's my thing.
Your style.
Whereas you guys have got to be topical, funny, controversial to a point to get the interest, your artwork, your studio, your production. All of this has got to be
on point.
On point. So that's why, there's a lot of you guys, Benzania, those guys.
Yeah, exactly the same.
I don't know. I don't want to piss anyone else, but I think I've mentioned.
But the UK scene, we know Benzania quite well.
In the UK, it's
very small.
I'd say it's very small.
No, but what I mean is like a few independent, who have, Tommy Sandu.
Okay.
Yeah, Brownload. There's a few other guys, pushing it. A few women ones who are coming onto the scene as well. So I think we're in a good organic space, but I don't believe there's money in there at the moment.
I don't think there is either. And it's if you can crack the YouTube algorithm and if you can find a suitable sponsor that likes your message, then you might get somewhere. But if you can't, then you're doing this for the enjoyment. And that's what me and Garan started this on, was the enjoyment aspect of it for me and him. Trying to talk about brand related.
Absolutely.
Trying to talk about current brown stuff is a struggle because sometimes we have groups with other friends and family who say, you might want to talk about this, you might want to talk about that. Having eyes and ears everywhere. I'm big on Twitter, so I see these things. I'm like, that's interesting.
Send me the video and be like, watch this. We need an angle.
I'm like, watch this. We need to come and talk about this. And then you add that to your episode title. It's relevant the following week. People will watch it. For that, you're putting people in with something current. A message I was told was, people come for the thing you're telling, they stay for you afterwards.
So they want to answer the question. They want the question answered.
But they stay for you afterwards, what you bring to it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Yeah. And it's the game you play to try and make some kind of headway.
And sometimes, your ego gets stroked as well at the same time, where randomly I've bumped into somebody and remember this episode, you said this and blah, blah. Oh, thanks for this bit. And I was like, bloody hell, I didn't realise, that can happen as well at the same time. And then, it's true.
I struggle whenever people come.
People say hello to him, and he's like, "They're like, I see you somewhere." He's like, "No, where?" And he makes it plays like a guessing game. He's like, "You got 5 chances. If you don't know, I'm gonna go now."
No, I don't do that.
When someone sees me, I'm like, "You see my podcast?"
I just get
straight.
This is probably the cringiest part of this. But I was having a meeting last week.
Yeah,
and there was Apuri, he was on the call.
Okay.
And I had to ring her for something, for a project.
Work related, yeah.
And I was like, blah, 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 going on from there. She goes,
I've seen you.
And I was like, nah. I was like,
you're me.
Because my team's profile is moody. I'm looking into the distance.
Yeah.
Like, I think I was at a party that I didn't want to be at, and that was it.
That's the picture. Okay.
That's my picture.
Yeah.
And she goes, Bandao. And I went, uh-oh. And she goes, you do podcasts, you do this.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans.
Yeah. Just shut my feet. Yeah. So then all of a sudden, we started to get the conversation about
Yeah.
you're limited on time. I only had like 2 minutes left of the call to actually get what it was. But that appreciation of where somebody comes back to you and says,
doing.
you know what, it's there. And you see at this moment in time, I don't know when the episode's going to be put out, but we're in the unwrapped. People are releasing their Spotify, their streams and all that.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get some of that feedback comes back, it's just like,
shit.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Rick, I would say, and then the word that encompasses everything we're saying is impact. That's what it is for me now. When we sat down, and it's only recently, and we said, why do we do the podcast? From when we started to why do we do it now?
Why did you guys do it then?
Oh man, we've told the story many times. I'm a sum up quick, some conscious time. Basically, I wanted to do one for years.
Yep.
I had a really bad stutter growing up. I couldn't speak properly. I was really unconfident. So I wanted a space to develop public speaking and confidence.
Yeah.
I needed a person to do it with. I was in his bedroom with him, not being big on. We were filming content for him and his separate business he does. And I said, can we do a pod recording? He's like, no. And then I just pulled my phone out, put it on the sofa, and I said, let's have a chat. And then, I said, let's have a chat. He said, all right, cool. Let's have a quick chat. So we're sitting there chatting and put the first episode out, second, third, fourth, fifth. Only until like about 90 episodes in, we like changed everything because it wasn't getting anywhere for us. And it wasn't working on what he's good at and what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And then we found a space where we can both have really good synergy, and then we changed direction. And now it's nice for both of us because there's a mutual assurance that if I have something related to the technical side, I can do it. If there's a business related problem, he can do it. And our roles are completely separate and we work very zany.
Yeah.
So,
but that's because there's two of you in it, and you
if
have
you're doing
to
it solo,
off,
it's a very
so
tough game.
even when I did the Bainzani, when I was chatting to those guys, one does the artwork, one does the kind of the bits from it. So like the way how they do it is like it's excellent.
Yeah.
And then we spoke, and I was just going through what my difficulties was, because like if you know what people may not know about is if you book a studio to go and do you think the amount of cancellations.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, imagine you guys have come down from here. You've paid for this. People have paid from there. There's a back team, big one, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to wreck their day.
Yeah.
You could be doing £100 down, just not even doing anything.
Yeah.
With a guy just saying, "Sorry, can't make it today." The amount of times that you get let down, that's the problem. If it wasn't, and that's where I think where we have to kind of professionalize ourselves to a point where they respect you as well, where, you know, they know your time. Like the only reason, you know, I came here bang on time because I know the struggle that what you guys are going to do.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
from that bit. And that's a respect thing, though. And
but you know that because you're in the industry,
time,
right? That's what people don't see. I'll just round off the point I was going to say about impact. Rick, when we get messages now from people who are like, I'm really lonely, I'm in this kind of, I'm going to university, I have no Punjabi friends, but I listen to your podcast, I feel like I'm part of something.
Yeah.
Or somebody else, one of my favorite comments I've had is, we did this whole thing about when you're at the Gurdwara and you have your tal, get langar, and you turn it so you get keyed in the biggest pot.
Yeah.
And he was like, the guy said, he was like, I was so sad this day and I heard that bit and it was just so relatable. And he was like, because that's exactly what I think.
Yeah.
And then when you obviously you can go deep on some other stuff we talk about, but having that impact on people now sustains, definitely for me, the reason why
it just
this is so important.
Yeah.
When you have a shit day and you see that, you're like, you know what? Okay, this is actually, it's not impacting people's lives, but it's bringing them a bit of joy. And everyone has a tough life. I just want to give people a little bit of respite in the week. And it's doing
that's why I think yours is harder.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to find that as well at the same time. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to find that little bit of humor in there to make someone smile.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, another guy like Tej Samra, for example, now he's fearless in terms of what he asks people. He's very direct. He gets to the point. And so I speak to him quite a lot. And he's coached me. I've coached him on some stuff.
Yeah.
But again, it looks on the setups, the presentation and all this, you know, what makes it that bit that it creates the environment when you're having sensitive subject matter and discussions that it conveys quite a lot. And he's really good at that, where he's able to kind of pinpoint. I think you guys are as well at that time to get that healthy balance. But I also think, you know, where I'm getting to is there's so much choice for the people. You're allowed to like 2 or 3 people. You know, the different opinions. You could have the same guest on 5 different channels, and it's 5 completely different interviews.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah,
and that's okay. Like sometimes
okay.
like, when we talk about this thing about key, right, or we talk about Indy can't tell the time in Punjabi.
Yeah.
You get some comments like, "Why do you talk about serious things?" And then we will reply, "Listen, this isn't a work channel. Like, if you want to go and find that content, there's a million podcasts. Ours is there's going to be the funny, there's going to be the serious.
Yeah.
But this is what we do.
Yeah.
Ricky, I do have a couple of questions left for you. Why do performing artists have this habit of lip syncing on stage? Even when it's their own gig, I understand that for us, we've done Bhangra showdowns, we've been to many. And when we're there, there's an artist who comes on stage, who lip syncs. Yeah. I'm thinking, that's fine. You're here as a part of the package. I'm not here to just see you. When you go to gigs and you see them actually lip sync, why the fuck do they do it?
Why is it acceptable?
And how is that acceptable as a fucking standard in the industry?
The general bit of it is that they can't sing for a long time. I believe.
That's
stamina. Is that what you're saying?
I think vocal quality. If you look at someone like, for example, let's say Jazzy is the GOAT, right?
Yeah. You said it now.
Ooh, okay, all right.
That's one of our questions there, right?
Jazzy would do a full wedding.
Yeah.
Do it live band.
Yeah. I've seen that.
We grew up in live band.
Yeah.
When he does gigs, it's live band.
Yeah.
I think in different countries where there's no band available, then he might do a rare PA, but that's only been recent.
PA being?
Singing over a song,
right,
singing, but he's not miming it. He's still singing over a song.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're doing a concert, I believe, my personal opinion, that you should sing live, but I don't think that they've kind of trained themselves up to that level where they're able to do it, or their vocal quality within there. And that's what I mean about those spurts, what I mentioned earlier. People have that spurt. Let's say you're the biggest fan of someone, right? You're a big fan. You rate them, you respect them. They get to that level, smashing it up on that bit. You have that one experience where you paid to go and see them live, and they're not singing live. That's going to affect you.
That will.
And then you're going to come back and tell 10 other people,
yeah.
"Oh, this geezer, man, I went to go and see him. He was miming. Yeah. He's a prat. He did this. I can't believe that." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has such a cumulative effect. And that's your PR from word of mouth. But I think it's about their training, their skill. JK, for example.
Yeah.
Does a great live set.
JK didn't come out. I think he was learning for like 10 years before he was ready to be on stage.
And he talks about that? Yeah.
He said this in a clip recently.
He was a postman in Birmingham.
He put a clip out saying the music industry today, like people aren't learning the craft properly. They just get straight in.
Yeah.
And he said, I had to go learn things, do things properly. And then now everything is diluted.
If you
and I appreciate that.
Yeah, so if the test is like, sing for an hour.
That's it.
Live. anyone from it. And I think if you're but the game is not that way as well. People have had so much work done to their song that they can't recreate it
on stage live.
Yeah, and this is where the AI part and all these other bits all play a little. You'll start to be deconstructed.
I think that's where the standard has to go, because I've been to see Arjit Singh live. Arjit Singh.
Okay.
Rahat Fateh Ali Khan.
Yeah.
Diljit live.
Yeah,
Diljit's got the biggest excuse.
But he ups it every single time I see him. He's better every time vocally. And I'm thinking, that's spectacular. You respect 100%. Your craft.
Diljit has got, like I said, he's got every
reason
excuse not to sing live.
Yeah.
But he does. And because he's learned and he's skilled and he's able to showcase it. That's what
he was doing songs way back, like old songs that got nowhere.
Yeah.
And now he's massive.
You probably need to speak to a producer or a vocal coach or somebody who could kind of answer that a lot better.
Because if you're thinking, you say this a lot, you saw 50 Cent live, and you said
absolute shit.
Many years ago, he was terrible.
But end of his tour, his voice was gone. I was like,
that's another thing. That's another thing.
Longevity.
About age.
Yeah.
So, the vocal quality, the deterioration goes down pretty drastically. In my opinion, when they get to about 45, 50, starts going on the decline. The only few people I've seen when I was on Facebook, Mangal Singh used to do these lives. He was unbelievable. But Shin DCS.
Yeah.
You listen to Shin DCS now.
Yeah.
He is unbelievable. He is still quality. But when I did an interview with him, he said he does about 90 minutes riyaz in the morning.
Exercises,
and then he does it in the evening as well.
Yeah. So he's maintaining
doing it every day. So for him, it's a lifestyle. It's a life.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, gonna go down to the pub, have a few mixed grill, have a glossy, couple of fags. Come on, let's start singing.
A little gig.
We'll do a gig, and then you won't do that again for not practice, and then keep doing it.
So there's no off seasons. What you're saying? People like Shin.
It's a lifestyle, man. They're naturally God gifted.
If you give someone a bad gig performance, they're never going to come back and see you again. And in our space, where it's so small compared to a mainstream space where it's a lot bigger,
see, me and you are very, very similar on that.
It's true though,
because this is the other point
I've
around
paid
tours.
to go and see you perform. If you're going to give me a shit night, I'm fuming because I took time off for this, and especially if it's someone like Doctor. He's had a daughter.
We're miserable people, I would say, right? But we go to that. We go to that. Look, I'll explain it. You tell me if I'm right.
Go on.
That's how it happens.
If a promoter, so I had Prash, right? He's one of the main guys, Desi Beats, arguably one of the biggest promoters in the UK, right? I said to him, if an artist comes down and they're doing a show, you go to that show and there's loads of empty seats, whose fault is it? He goes, 100% of the time is down to the promoter. Because you never told the artist the realism that you're not going to sell tickets, you're not going to do this, blah, 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 right? So let's say you're an avid fan of a boy band. You go to that venue and it's empty. You're going to think, am I a weirdo that I'm the one who finds this one because there's no one else here?
Yeah.
Right? And then you're going to think, as an avid fan, the next time they come, am I going to go again?
Yep.
So if you're feeling that doubt as a big fan, how are you going to go? How is somebody else going to say, I'm going to take a gamble on them to go see them again?
Yeah.
So getting smaller venues, making it look like it's packed. All of these are all part of the art, creative. Or saying it's sold out.
Scarcity.
Because we could say this room sold out.
It kind of is, right?
Yeah. So it's about perception.
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of these newer artists have started to be more sensitive on, about the art of optics, is what I call it.
Yeah. Marketing.
Marketing. Yes. Marketing. I was just bullshitting that for no reason.
And then the last question.
Was that the same point before?
No,
you were saying
that was very close. My point was going to be, someone like Doctor has a daughter. For him to go out in the evening is a big job. He has to plan someone to look after his daughter. He might have to put her down. It might be a difficult night. He might have to get a babysitter. He spent time to go out to come to that event. Might not get a date night with his missus. He chose to go to that event, had a shit night, and he's thinking, I'm never seeing you again because my time is very precious. Yeah,
that's money. I think this ticket ain't going to be cheap. These are now £70, £100 tickets, £150 tickets.
Yeah.
So you're going to be paying for that. The production on what you're seeing is going to be spot on as well.
The value. Yeah.
You can't just have a big screen and that's it.
There
needs to be props. There need to be this, that, and the other. Look at Diljit bought a fucking moon.
Yeah, he did.
right?
It's fantastic.
Who else is doing that? But then you could see that's what he's pushing. He's dragging the industry up by the neck and say, right, we've got
this is the standard now.
This is what we've got to keep doing.
Okay. You managed Frenzy in the past.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
No. It's a controversial question. It's just,
really.
what would you say led to his massive rise to being one of the guys in the industry from a DJ perspective? I knew him at university.
Yeah. Bhangra scene, I'd say, Simon.
He was changing degrees. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And then I lost touch with him. And then, bam, he's out there making these mixes, going super stupid viral. And I'm thinking, that's impressive. How did he make that transition?
So I knew Frenzy through various kind of circles, friend circles and stuff and that. And I'm a bit older, so he was like one of the youngest in our crew, still is. I think for him, it was a perfect storm in what was going on.
Okay.
One, from people he was hanging around with and what he was learning, but then the technology-wise that was out there, the skills that he kind of learnt himself in terms of DJing,
mixing,
video art, direction, just general kind of whatever he puts his head to is pretty good.
Right.
But any of the glory in that goes down to the artists, because that's their creatives, that's their whole bit. I think for him, it was a perfect storm that social media was coming at, like, you were seeing the waves of viral videos starting to come. And I think he caught that one of the best out of anybody. And so from a marketing point of view and from the quality of his mixes at the end of the day, let's get that right. And the attention, he he got there. And then at that time was when when he was getting married.
He was
yeah,
playing mixes in the changing rooms.
And the other bit is, you know, quite a lot of other DJs out there now are doing it, is that they had the guts to go travel.
To India, you mean? Yeah.
Just to go around the world. You know, you look at numerous of DJs that if you follow, they're going all around the world, and fair play to them. They're enjoying their life. They're doing it as well.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what Badi Sagoo and Punjabi MC were doing 20, 30 years ago, but there's no social media. All these guys now are doing it from there.
Because they're benefiting from that.
Exactly. So, but with Frenzy was different because he was kind of leading that way with social media as well at the same time.
Is Frenzy a mixer or a DJ?
You know, for me, as somebody who's watching, like, so is somebody a selector as well? You know, there's loads of different nuances around it. It depends on the audience, because if you're doing a wedding, you need to be a different type of DJ. If you're doing a club, it's a different type.
Yes.
So there's very different nuances, and I'll be doing it a disrespect to kind of comment on that arena. It's like me saying about what level of a doctor is a pediatrician better than this surgeon.
So you're saying you can't compare?
You can't. Yeah, I think there's so many different levels into it. You know, even with your Bhangra teams, there's different levels in terms of what you do.
Professional.
Yeah. So I think it's different. Both need different skills, but I think to answer your question to a point, I think you can't be everything.
No.
You always
must have a niche.
You'll lean into something more better than something else.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. It's very rare that you're going to get somebody who's complete.
All rounder.
Yeah.
Okay. We like to round out the pods with guests with a quick quiz.
Okay.
So for you, we're going to give you a couple of rapid fire questions.
Oh man,
some are Birmingham related.
I'm going to have to
take a big go for Barney. Strap in.
That's it.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Because you're Brummy.
Boys are looking nervous as well. You guys know the questions?
No.
No one's seen this.
In your head, think about the answers, boys.
Only me and Gunnar. Okay, I've seen this.
Brummy, because you're
Question
Brummy.
number one.
This is it.
Primark replaced which shopping centre in Birmingham City Centre?
We went Palisades. Was it Palisades or Pavilion? I'm going to go for Pavilion.
Technically, both are correct.
Okay.
/
One for one.
One for one.
Are they?
What is the real name of the bullring ball?
This is tough.
Come on, man. Bullring ball. Bold.
Huh?
I don't know.
Bully.
No.
Bull.
Actually,
go on.
I might know this.
We'll give him a clue.
Go on.
Let's wait. You're going to say something.
Are you thinking the Olympics one? Because there was a different name given to it for the Olympics.
Yeah. That's where my confusion. The
Right.
actual ball one by
Outside.
The one outside.
Nah, I don't know it.
Right, it's a famous newspaper, English newspaper.
Left leaning.
The Guardian.
That's the name of it.
That's the name.
Guardian.
The Guardian. The Guardian.
We didn't know this. We had to look
The
up
Guardian.
The Guardian is the name.
God. I just saw the Birmingham flag the other day.
There's a Birmingham flag.
There's a Birmingham flag.
I didn't know that.
What's on it?
Yeah.
So there's the Guardian.
I tell you.
He's on it.
The ball, yeah.
Then you've got yellow, which was it symbolises the city of 1,000 trades.
Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham.
Okay, fair.
There's 12 blasters on there.
No, wow. Sure. Yeah. Batons on it, yeah. And there was another colour. I can't remember what that was. Bit now. I can't remember.
Orange in it. Orange.
Yeah, I think something about it.
Who was the Birmingham author who wrote Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit?
J.R. Tolkien.
Hey, there we go.
Spot on.
Right, Bhangra related.
Oh no.
Rank from 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst.
Take your time. Give me all
Does
the
it mean
options.
one?
Wait.
Stop.
Listen to this.
Different eras, different questions, okay?
Oh, this is a bit tricky.
This is
AP
tough.
Dillon, Shub, Diljit, Sidhu, Karan Aujla.
I think Sidhu's one.
Sidhu's number 1. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Ooh, it's what the metrics are in it.
No.
Opinion.
You.
Opinion.
Your opinion.
Your opinion.
Whatever your markers are.
I'll give you a reminder of the ones left. You've got
I'll say Diljit, Karan,
Diljit, Karan,
and then I'd say AP and then Shub.
AP and then Shub. Okay, all right.
I think Shub is early in his career, needs that longevity. I think AP, for what is the success he's got and how he's dominating in that world, is massive. Netflix and stuff. Aujla is on the cusp of greatness because you can see what he's done.
The year he just had was unreal.
Yeah, Diljit.
He was your number 1 artist on Spotify, right?
Yeah, Diljit, Coachella.
I saw you.
There you go. Yeah, he's that way. But I think what Sidhu and did, well, still doing. So, you know, he is a business now.
Yeah.
Sidhu is a business with, you know, people clout chased, whatever. But what he sustained in terms of how big he went after his death, I think he's icon now, because it'll be like, you know, how you think of Bruce Lee, Bob Marley, all the other four, but that'd be like, Sidhu was just massive.
Rank from 1 to 5 again.
This is harder.
Bindrakia, Manak, Jazzy, Kaka, Gurdasman.
Wait. Rick's face is like,
Why are you giving me these greats to pick from? Yeah?
It's disrespectful for me.
Listen, I don't want no answer the question. I want the full bandwagon experience, okay?
Oh, man.
Inna stress kade life ch hoya nahi hun.
See, if there's no Manak, then there's no Jazzy, in my opinion, as well, at the same time. So,
Ustadi, yeah.
Say him again?
Bindrakia,
Bindrakia.
Manak, Jazzy, Kaka, Gurdasman. I got to give full credit to my wife for this, because she came up with this.
Yeah,
she is
so
a massive Bhangra head.
Yeah, so I'm going to put Kaka as 5.
Okay.
Because we never had the full...
Yeah.
But what he could have been was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to put... Oh my God, I can't... The Darth one is 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you so far.
Then I'm going to say...
Don't say.
Oh, this is...
Don't say.
Say it.
Don't say.
Say it.
I'm going to say...
No.
Say it.
What you're thinking is 3 is number 1.
No.
Yeah, you know that.
No.
Bro, I'm trying
to.
No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say it from a respect point of view.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Manak number 1, Bindrakia, and then Jazzy.
Yeah.
And the reason being
choices.
is because I saw a picture with Manak and Bhangra yesterday.
Okay.
And then I saw Jazzy comment on it, and I just thought, you know, so there's a level of respect from there
respect.
to go from that side. But again, we were robbed with Bhangra as well.
Also, Manak's voice was something I've never seen before on those old recordings.
But if you put
when you see the mic is here, and he's back here, and you're hearing the full kitch.
I rip some people's like some video, I stick them up on my video.
Yeah.
But like, if you had it Chinda in there, Chamkila, I mean, it's a horrible question.
Yeah. Okay. Rank from 1 to 5. Punjabi MC, Bully Sagoo, Bali Jagpal, DJ Sanj, Icky.
This is good.
This is my wife. This is my wife.
Those are good. So go for it again. Go for the 5.
Punjabi MC, Bully Sagoo, Bali Jagpal, DJ Sanj, Icky.
So
Man like Icky.
Impact for me then, right?
Yeah.
So I can explain it. So Punjabi MC would be my number 1.
Oh wow, you go with number 1 first. Sure, okay.
Yeah,
Agreed.
because
Agreed.
I fell out of love with Punjabi music, and I heard 100% Proof, and he brought me back.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, so he's number 1. Icky will be the future GOAT.
I agree.
But at this moment in that ranking, who's the other ones again?
Punjabi MC, Bali Sagoo, Bali Jagpal, DJ Sanj, Icky.
There's 2 bullies.
Yeah, I'm going to put Bali Jagpal second.
Okay.
Bali Jagpal second. Then I'm going to put Icky there.
Ooh.
Interesting.
At this moment.
Okay.
Because if you look at numbers and what he's done already,
Unreal.
Yeah, he's an dominant. And then who's remaining?
Bali Jagpal.
DJ Sanj.
And DJ Sanj. Sorry, no. Bali Sagoo and DJ Sanj.
DJ Sanj, then Bali Sagoo.
Wow, Bali Sagoo. Ooh, I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought you put Sanj at the bottom.
No, because for me, there was like I said, for me, you used to have PMC versus Bali Sagoo.
Yeah.
I liked Bali Sagoo's early stuff, my personal opinion, rather than his latter stuff. But I'm thinking about it just in terms of my experience.
I feel that. Okay.
Yeah.
Greatest of all time Bhangra singer.
Who's the GOAT?
Manak's the GOAT.
You said earlier it was Jazzy.
But then the respect.
But then I said there's no Jazzy with
so they're one in the same.
He had a mind. He changed it in the episode.
Yeah.
They can't see.
But I didn't know the context in terms of where it was leading to.
Final question: who is the GOAT producer? I would never have expected that. Tell me why.
but he created everything.
Mm.
So yeah, but you know, like if you go into it, how he worked with Chomkila, Dasman, Shinda, without them, without not having produced some of that, his work is being copied now.
Yeah,
and it's you know what I mean. So I would say he's number one.
Okay. That's it. Ricky, thank you so much.
This has been a pleasure.
Can you tell people where to find you on all platforms? Plug your stuff, man. This is your chance.
Yeah, if you go on to Bandwagon on Instagram, so it's BHANDA.
DA?
Yeah, I was gonna give my personal one, then
I was gonna say, man.
So it's just Bandwagon, BHAND, and then Wagon is WAGON. You'll get like Linktree link on there, and you can get it. You can just find I'm on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, all of them there.
OnlyFans
and YouTube.
Yeah. I was originally gonna give my other profile, but no, Ricky. But that one's open anyway, so you can find me. You can find me at Ricky Badal as well. So it's kind of linked as well.
Perfect, Ricky. Thank you so much, bro.
No, I really appreciate it, guys. And,
we will do this again, man.
Yeah, keep it up. Make sure you keep flying the flag and. Respect to you guys and well done to what you guys have done already.
Thank you,
it's a big thing and it's appreciated.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, my brother.
Pleasure. Respect.
People, catch you next week in a bit.
Thank you guys for watching. Check out the rest of our episodes here and don't forget to subscribe here. We'll see you guys on the next one.